Good morning. Michael Scott, Scotty Man Photo, here at Eisenhower State Park, a little area known as Swim Beach. I've been here before, but really haven't scoured the area really looking for compositions. Just kind of came down here and looked around a little bit, but I thought I'd come down this morning and just kind of, I don't know, see what I could get into. I don't think there's going to be any great skies, so yeah. But it's a cool morning, probably about 37 degrees. Calm, no winds, quiet, very nice. Well, I always like to get to a location early, so yeah, just kind of hanging out, maybe have a little coffee, scope out for compositions, and kind of see where the sun is going to come in and what it's going to do. So, yeah, I really got to find a composition though. Something. Just kind of looking in here to see if maybe there might be a light hole or something that might be interesting when the sun rises. Interesting little cave. Yeah, I don't have a lot of time. I can see that sun, the horizon now, coming up. Yeah, really, something like this is what I was looking for. So I'm kind of thinking that I can get some of these rocks here in the foreground and maybe kind of leading out, if I can get it angled right, to where I have some of these rocks here kind of in the upper right corner of the frame. But I really need something kind of in the lower left to kind of bring some balance to the image, kind of a diagonal line across the image. So let's see what I can find. Yeah, I think I might be able to make this work. Maybe, yeah, definitely, I think the 14 to 24, maybe get this around, I don't know, 15, 16 mil. I gotta turn my phone on silence. I'm gonna get busy. Oh, close one. those boulders in the back there are just too big, and it's one of the reasons I went with a 14, because I can make it smaller, but I'm gonna have to get closer into the foreground to make that larger. And it could be it right there. There's just no clouds in the upper left section, and that just really affects, I think, the overall balance of the image. I think I'm gonna try to grab that right there. I said this before, always bring your tripod to the camera and not the camera to the tripod. Yeah, this image is just not good. I'd hoped for a bit more fog, and not getting that. And yeah, it's just not working. I really need a very long exposure to blur out the water completely, or a faster exposure, crank up my ISO so that I can capture the water still as it is. That's what I'm struggling with this morning. I think I'm going to go for the long exposure. So, not much of a sky. So what I'm going to try is a long exposure. I think I'll use a 6-stop neutral density filter with a soft Grad filter. The soft Grad kind of at an angle to really balance out the sky so they don't clip any of the highlights. Although this camera is amazing when it comes to capturing details in the shadows or recapturing highlights, but it's certainly better at bringing out the details in the shadows, but it does both pretty well. All right, I'm gonna try it. Where to focus? I'm shooting this right at 21 millimeters, so I think I'm gonna back off just a little bit, a little extra room. You can crop in some later in post, and this will actually help with my depth of field. So I'm not gonna try to focus stack, although I could. Maybe I'll capture a couple. You never know. But I think I'll just capture one and focus on about the third rock in front of me, about a third into the frame. On a full frame, the hyperfocal distance is about 4.5 feet. So theoretically, you focus 4.5 feet in, and you get half the hyperfocal distance to infinity in acceptably sharp focus. And acceptably sharp means, and I mentioned this before, is at least I get the pixel peeping. You look at it, you zoom in, it's not going to be sharp. You print big, it's not going to be sharp. It might be sharp enough though, but acceptably sharp meaning if you print on an 8x12, 8x10, put it on the wall, stand at a normal distance, and you're looking at the image, it looks sharp. And so that's, kind of what, in the end, my images are printed. So I am concerned about printing. So, and that's why I always concern myself with focus. So I'm going to try to focus at about 4.5 feet. And that really should give me good enough sharpness. At 21, well, about 19 mils now. And I'll just capture one and check that sharpness. Just kind of zoom into 100%, look at the foreground. Yep, looks really good. The rocks in the distant foreground look good, and the background is actually a little foggy and hazy anyway, so you know, I really don't have anything to worry about sharpness in the background, so that's my thinking. Now, the bad thing about all this work going into this image, I'm just really not convinced this composition is going to work, but you know, I've thought that before, and I get back into post-processing, and sometimes turns out to be one of your favorite images. Yeah, one tip I would suggest on any time you're shooting really is, you know, take a look into the viewfinder or LCD if you're using that, but just kind of look at the image from the top left, starting at the top left corner, and just kind of scour around and the entire frame, just looking for any kind of distractions that might be coming in. Well, that water looks okay, just not quite long enough. I think, you know, you either got to go big or go home, so I might have to use a 10 stop to get more light coming in, so. All right, so on bulb mode, sun's coming up. I'll try to do this right around 2 minutes, F11. Now, 2 minutes is really going to slow this, this motion of this water down. It's going to smooth it out. And what I'm hoping for is kind of a, almost like a fog, a light, low fog, but not a lot of movement in the water. So it should come out looking pretty decent. I almost had it to where I wanted it 6 stops, but just wasn't quite long enough. About 25-30 seconds, just wasn't cutting it. So I think 2 minutes should be more than sufficient to give me the effect that I'm looking for. I think this image would really work with a better sky. I really like the diagonal view, but I don't like having this dead space here in the skies. The clouds would take care of that. Yeah, this app is actually really good. If you're not battling with the sky quickly approaching and the light increasing, it's actually pretty much dead on the timer. So to give you a really good exposure. So whatever your meter is telling you to expose at, and you plug that into the stopper app, it's on point, really is. All right, well, I guess that's it. I captured a couple of images, a couple of long exposures. We'll see how those come out. I don't think this is an award-winning image, like I mentioned earlier, but it's probably okay. But I do think I'll come back and try to recapture it when the sky is better, and I've got some clouds kind of in that upper left section of the image. Yeah, but really, when I get back in post-processing, I'll take a look. So, but you be the judge. Let me know what you think of this image. Well, I guess that's it. I'm going to get out of here. Hey, but if you like today's video, make sure you hit the like button and consider subscribing, and leave me a comment. Always, if I don't see you down the road, maybe I'll see you on the trail.